Hey everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to the forest. But I tell you what, if you guys would indulge me a little here, I like to start off with story time. Woo! Okay. So last week, let's start off with this. Last week I brought the Tacoma out, did a little off-roading in this area here where right now there's patchy snow, but there's snow. Did mostly mud wheeling with it, and it did really good. I was really pleased with how that turned out. So I was thinking, I need to get this into some deeper snow and see how it does. You know, I had talked about stock setup, leave it the way it is, see how capable it is, if I can get where I need to go and get out. But then I read the report over the last, say, week and a half. Where I was going was farther north, higher elevation than where I'm at now. After reading this report, I'm going to take the Lexus up there, because more so than seeing how the Tacoma's going to do up there, I just want to go snow wheeling. So I got everything loaded up in the Lexus and I took off. So a little background of it, we had, I don't know, there was a 12 inches, 8 inches, rain, freezing, another 8 inches. You know, it snowed, it rained, it sleeted, it froze, it got hot over a week and a half period of time. So you can kind of get where I'm going with this as far as the snow. So on the way up there, I go through high desert area. No snow, no nothing. It's all dry. I get off road and I've got about 10 miles of a dirt road I've got to cross to kind of get over to where I start climbing the mountain. And I get up to it, and there may or may not have been a road closed sign there. Now, to go around, it's a long way. You literally probably go 60 miles out of your way because you have to go past it, around, and drop back into it. So I didn't see any signs that I drove around. The reason they were there was for people who drive down these kind of roads in cars. And right after it happened, apparently there was some torrential rains there because this whole 10-mile stretch was mud. Like I should have went around the other way. So this is the start of my day. But luckily enough, it's still early in the morning and it was 30 degrees, 28 degrees maybe at that time. So a lot of the mud was kind of frozen. But this is high desert, direct sunlight. It's hitting it really good. There were some tracks. Long story short, I got across it with minimal mud everywhere. There was mud though. So that was the start of it, mud. And I don't like mud like that because it's all stuck up underneath there. So now I'm starting to climb the mountain and there's no snow. Nothing. And I'm thinking, oh, come on. As I go higher and higher and higher, I start to see snow on the side of the roads. Then I start to see more and more. Then all of a sudden the road disappears. No road, all snow. And they're really good at plowing, usually plowing that road. But this must have happened last night. So another little fresh bit of snow on top. You may be able to hear the woodpeckers in the background banging away on the trees. One sounds like it's hitting like a hollow tree. It sounds kind of dead. So I get up to where I want to go in. Again, the regular little paved road is completely covered in, it's weird. It wasn't snow. It was not ice. Hard packed snow. Like groomed almost, like what you would ski on, where they groom ski slopes. And then picture the snowplows coming through day after day, piling up on the side of the road. Well, I don't think that the Forest Service necessarily wants you to go back into the forest when it's that snowy. So they don't bash open the side of the road to get started off on the clay roads that go in. So first problem was the mud. Second problem is it was about 2.5 feet tall. And it's not snow, it's ice. You guys know it's like big chunks and boulders of icy, snowy, dirty mess. So I spun it around on the street, put it in 4 low, And I went up to it to make sure I wasn't going to crash like into the bumper. And I kind of nosed up, and it took me about 3 times, and I climbed up and over this berm and got into the snow. And I took off down in the snow. So I have some footage, but it's one of those things where so many things were going wrong that I got to the point where I needed to just get out of there. So there's a little footage. I went in, like, just blazing a trail. Well, I turned down into an area I thought maybe I'd like to set up like this, and maybe my plan was make some coffee, drive around some more, stop, make some coffee, and make some lunch. Because it was about snow wheeling, right? Well, right off the bat, buried it. Boom! I buried it. And then I lowered the tire pressures. Well, that didn't take long. So I got stuck already. It's pretty deep, and it's just holding me back everywhere. You can see it's pretty good, but it's different levels of snow here as far as frozen and real snow. It's pretty deep, about 22 feet deep in some areas. And I started to kind of I was just idling and crawling. I thought I was starting to turn around. I buried it again, down through to the ice. So there's layers of this snow. Everyone knows it lives in snowy areas how bad snow can actually be. So you get the kind of firm crust. When you break through, you got the real heavy, sloppy kind of snow. Then you go 20 inches down from that, you've got an ice layer. And then under that ice layer is pure clay mud. So wherever you broke through, it progressively got worse. Because as you got deeper, it got all the way up into your frame rails. So I buried it. I buried it so bad. And I was on a little incline. Well, it was time to whip out the winch. And at this point, I'm like, thank goodness I brought the Lexus and not the Tacoma. Because the Tacoma doesn't have a winch on it. And this is the first time I've had to use my winch in anger on the GX470. And it pulled it right out. I got out of there thinking, oh, okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. And then I took off again. Now I'm looking for a better place to kind of set up. Now I know I'm. Oh, by the way, I am super out of breath. High elevation, digging, running around, post holing in the snow about knee depth. Twisted my knee a little bit because my leg went all the way down. And again, it's really firm at the top and my weight I wrenched it a little bit. So it was hurting last night and hurting a little this morning. So now I'm on the trail for a new area, something flat, something not too far off the road. Now the road isn't much better, but some people had tried to go in there over the week. You could see that there was trenches, but it was so deep that as high as the Lexus is lifted, it was still rubbing the skid plate and the diffs all the way through. So the Tacoma could have never made it because it's much lower. It would have just bodied out. It doesn't matter how good your four-wheel drive system is. If you don't have the height to get over something, it just sets the whole body on it and your wheels, just turn in place. So I see a place and I think it's going to be good, but there was like another type of berm. Now, it wasn't from a snowplow. I think it was maybe from people just going through and throwing snow on the sides over time. And so it was a pretty good berm. So I backed it up and I went for it. And as I went up and over, plop, stuck. And stuck bad this time. Stuck way worse than the first time. I was here for a while. This one took the shovel. It took the max tracks. It took everything. So now not only am I stuck for the third time, there was another small one. Oh no, third time. I'm sweating like a meatloaf. I've stripped down to a t-shirt. There's mud from the first, problem, down in the desert. There's mud all along the rails. The snow wasn't powdery enough to come up and which is usually it'll knock the mud off. So now I'm dealing with mud. So every time I reach under the car, it gets on my arm, it got on my pants, it somehow got on my butt. Because when I jumped back in this Lexus, I just smeared clay across the leather seats, which was cool. Starting to get a little frustrated because this one, I'm in the ice and it's up in the frame, it's bad. And I'm like huffing and puffing because I'm kind of working nonstop, not really tending to myself, other than I stripped down so I wouldn't, completely sweat out. I was sweating, but I was down to a t-shirt and it was 30 degrees. But the sun was shining, right? It was a beautiful sunny day. So I was stuck there over an hour, and finally I was able to dig down. I was digging with the max tracks, but then I had to get out the real shovel and I had to dig down through the ice because a couple tires had gone down into the clay and was throwing mud everywhere. Got it underneath enough. Once I got it the way you're supposed to, you'll see right here. Just able to back right out. No flooring it, no nothing. Just whoop right out. So that was good. It wasn't good the first couple of tries though. So I think I didn't do much filming or recording, but I talked a little bit about, and I can show you what I was. You'll see me. I'm not looking that good, not feeling that good, and you'll see how the rest of yesterday went. I can barely breathe. I just finished my fourth recovery. I'm at just under 8,000 feet here, so the snow's where I got stuck is more than knee deep, so it's not just digging the car out, but walking around, you know, post holing in the snow. It's pretty tough. I haven't been able to catch my breath for like the past 2 hours because I just got out of one back there, and I thought I could go right here and set up, but the snow off this track here is all built up on the side, and as soon as I floored it through there, I just fell into it completely down on the frame rails. I dug all the way down through the ice to the mud, so I got mud everywhere. There's a lake on my floorboard here, so I'm a little out of shape, but it's the elevation that's really getting me. I'm gonna see if I can get back at least to the road. I had to jump a big berm just to get in here. Well, I made it back to the road. This is pavement under here. I had to jump this berm to get into the track back there. Just about, it took me a few tries to get in. I got it in one shot coming out, just floored it. I'm sweating like a meatloaf, and it's 30 degrees out. Oh. After about the second recovery, I kind of stopped having fun. These are the trips where you have to have multiple people with you because, I mean, look, I've got everything I need to get myself out, but I literally used everything. I lowered my tire pressures down to 22. I had to use the winch, had to use my shovel, and I had to use my traction boards all at different times. And it took a lot. The last one I had to use the shovel and the traction boards to get out. It was deep. You know, this is really bad snow. It snowed like a week ago, then it rained, then it snowed, then it froze. It snowed a couple times this week. It rained a couple times this week. So you got that crust. Then you go down and it's ice, and then if you can get through the ice, you're into the mud. And I hit all the layers at different times. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm literally exhausted, man. It's been about, I've probably filmed about 10 minutes worth of footage, and I've been digging or trying to get out for 3 hours. You know, there's times you just don't want to set up the camera because that, like I said, the third and the fourth time, I'm just like, all right, this snow is terrible. And I was pretty deep in there. It would have been hard walking out of there. I think I'm gonna head up this way, see if I can find some place I can get off and park without being in the road or being in 2 feet of snow. Well, at least my boots worked really good. These are my fire hose Duluth trading pants. I was kneeling, rolling around the snow, so they stayed pretty dry. The sun is so stinking bright right here. Just reflecting off the snow. I can't even see the camera, unfortunately, so I'm literally on like a little area where the snowplow turns around. I can go up the roads. You know, it's deep. When I stay in the trenches, it's actually rubbing, you know, the skid plates and all the way down the frame. It's really deep. And I had to go pretty far down on this one to turn around. There's some kind of like utility substation over here or something. I think it's from the dam. And I almost got stuck there. Oh, Jesus. So I turned around, I came back to here, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just cook right here. But now I'm thinking I might not cook today. I just brought some beans and a steak again. I was gonna make it simple because today was gonna be about the off-roading, but it's a nightmare. This is the like I so wanted the snow, and I wanted it this deep. The only problem is this is that really bad snow. I think we all have encountered good snow and bad snow. So I think I might make some coffee. I'm hot. I stripped it all, and I actually wasn't wearing my thick coat. You know, I did think ahead. I had a sweatshirt and just my flannel on. And I think right here it's about 34 degrees or so, but earlier, you know, it's taken a couple hours to get out. It was about 30. It's been right around the 30 to 34 range all day. Back in there, and man, I just got so I got so hot. I would get set up for some coffee. I'm going to change my boots out for the drive home. I've got a pretty good drive. These boots work really good. I'll show you what they look like. So I got my slip-on rubber boots for the mud that I wore the last time that were too cold, but these are what I got off Amazon. I think they were like 80 bucks. Really super, they've got a separate layer inside. And they're called Kamik, K-A-M-I-K, waterproof. Got the size 14. Their 14s were a little small on me, but once I was working them in, they ended up being okay. Like my toes don't hurt. It took a little while to break them in. A 15 would have been better, but they only went up to 14. So, well, that's them. Pretty comfy and totally waterproof, totally warm. And my pants coming down over it, I didn't have to put on gaiters. These pants really work good covering it up. You can see there's no water up here. someone got me this steak. It's a New York strip. So the last couple of steaks I've cooked have been those top sirloins, about $4 or $5 each. This one was a $14 one. Very tender. Perfectly cooked. There is a difference. Today was just about coming up into the mountains. There's still a fair amount of snow around, more for looks rather than driving on, but today was just coming up here because I wasn't able to cook my steak yesterday. It was about maybe 12:30, and I decided to pack it up, but my steak was sitting back here in the Lexus, like right in the corner here. And it didn't feel warm, but it didn't feel cold. So I got concerned because normally I would have cooked it. I started cooking it. But I knew I had to go all the way back home. And the new conditions, it was 2 hours to get there and it was 2.5 hours to get back because I actually went around the long way. So I had a Ziploc bag and I filled it with snow and put it in the grocery bag with the steak next to it, and I made my own cooler. So that worked out good. But today was just, I'm like, you know what? Last night, I said, I'm going to go up in the local mountains and just park up, talk a little bit. I'm going to cook and I'm going to relax. That's why. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? I was going to take the Lexus again because it was so filthy already. But I'm like, you know what? No, if I'm going to relax and feel really good, I want to just feel. I'm taking my 80 Series Land Cruiser. If I had to get rid of every car, this is the only one I would keep. And it's not that it's probably the slowest car I have next to the 60. It's old, but there's some intangible. There's this character to it, right? And I took this thing from bone stock. It had been stock for 20 years. And anything that's modified on here, I did myself. No, I didn't take it anywhere. I did everything. And there's, I have that connection to it. You bleed on it, it bleeds with you. I did whatever engine work I needed to, and there's just something about it. I love this thing. It would definitely be the last one to go. If I had to get rid of everything and only keep one thing, I would keep this. The problem with that is it. Before I lifted it, it was an okay daily driver. Buck and I went for a ride every day for like 6 months straight in it. Once I lifted it, though, it's a tiny bit more cumbersome. So, I'd like to have the Tacoma as a daily driver, but if I had to get rid of all my off-road vehicles and only keep one, this would definitely be the one. Those are bear paws. Decent sized black bear. All kinds of deer track around here. Some mountain lion back over there. Last time I was up here and there was good snow, you could really see it. These are harder to see. But you can see my size 15s next to it. You can see the claws in it. There, here. It's a pretty fat paw. The black bears around here aren't that big. A couple 100 pounds, 300 pounds or so. I mean, there could be bigger ones, but. So yesterday I was wearing all my good stuff. My lined pants, which worked really good. They're Duluth Trading Fire Hose lined version. Perfect. Wasn't that cold. It was only around 30. And my new boots that I got, my new snow boots. So I looked for the best, cheapest boots. I found some on Amazon. I think I mentioned what they were in the video. They were really good. At first, they only had up to 14. At first, they were a little tight with my thick wool socks. But after doing 3 or 4 recoveries and going around the snow, it basically broke in that liner inside, and they were really comfortable. And they worked really good with those pants. No water, no snow, no nothing. And I was knee deep. So that worked really good. I took one of my big jackets, this one here. I didn't even put it on. And the reason I don't have my flannel on today is my flannel got mud on it. My sweatshirt underneath my flannel got mud on it. My fire hose pants got mud on it. Everything got mud on it from digging. Today I've just got some of these. They're kind of like Fjallravens, but these are true spec. You know, they have a little stretchy above the knee, little stretchy back by the waistband in the back. Very comfortable. Really good summer pants. They're a little light for winter, but I thought it was supposed to be a warm day. But being here, I got my awning out. I'm in the shade, snow, a little breeze, and just sitting still. They're a little chilly. So I had to put my bigger jacket on, my beanie, and I've got my rubber boots on. Let me show you these bad boys. So these are my summer mud boots, right? They're just slip-ons, and these are the original muck boot. I did say muck, I think, before. They're muck boots, right? Very comfortable. This is like neoprene right here. So I take these, they just slide on. And the reason they're good for mud, one, they're totally waterproof, but two, the soles, the tread isn't that aggressive. You wear like a really good hiking boot or something in the mud, and then you get in and out of your car, you drag in huge chunks of mud. That's why I got these. But I found in the summer even, they're pretty comfortable. They're like really spongy. So when I'm working in the garage with my shorts on, I slip on these boots, and they're easy to slip on and off in case I stepped into oil or something to go back in the house. But out here, my feet get cold. You know, my toes get cold standing in the snow. So they're pretty good, probably fall or spring and all through the summer boots. But I like them. I knew I wore these to drive up yesterday to the snow, and then I put on my snow boots. Then I took off my snow boots, slipped these bad boys on. They work really good for that. And again, the main reason I got them was so I don't take huge chunks of mud into the car with me. Well, that's going to do it for me, you guys. I've been here a couple hours just relaxing. I didn't film that much, and I didn't film that much yesterday. Not sure how it's all going to come together, but basically the point of this video is things can go wrong, and you can make it right by making a camp like this and just relaxing, cooking some good food, drinking some good coffee, relaxing. Actually, it's a Saturday today. I've actually had a couple of side-by-sides go by, nice and slow, which is a rarity. And a whole set of quads, like 6 or 8 quads, and they all look like older dudes, just having a good time. So that's really cool to see. I like that. People just out enjoying the little bit of snow that there is here. But it was really interesting yesterday. I had it in my mind how excited I was to go in the snow. And I thought I picked... it doesn't matter what vehicle I picked, actually. The Jeep, this with the solid axles, they would have gotten stuck way sooner than the Lexus because it was so deep and so somewhere in between concrete and, it was really tough to get through. So it wasn't the Lexus's fault necessarily. But I think I'm going to make a call and say that I think that was the deepest snow that I've ever tried to drive in up there in that particular area. It was about 24 inches deep in some areas, less in others, obviously, but some areas about 24 inches deep. I sunk down in it, and it was, I couldn't open the door. It was pretty deep, and it wasn't powdery snow. It was that crap snow, that cement, that wet cement. Oh, it was bad. I had fun at first. I'm going to be honest with you guys. That last recovery I had to do, it ceased to have fun. It would have been fun with other people. When it's that deep, and I didn't know it was that deep. Well, I had an idea, but I didn't know it was going to be that crappy. That's when you really can't go by yourself. I know I joke about that all the time, but in a situation like that, if you had 1 or 2 other vehicles, you just hook on and you pull it out. You use the power of the vehicle. There's no digging. There's no, any of that crap. Look, the things that I carry with me for solo missions, they're not the easiest thing to use, but they give you the ability to recover yourself. When you're out with other people in a certain situations like that, heavy mud, heavy snow, then instead of digging, it would have taken 5 minutes. We throw a rope on, boom, yank it right out. Because one person goes in at a time to test it, right? They get across, then the next one. 3 vehicles is probably perfect, right? Probably perfect. One made it through, one gets stuck, one's on the other side, so you can pull them out either way. But that really is where you need to go. Bring friends with you. But I don't have any friends. No, I just blazed up there. Probably would have been a good idea. But yeah, if I had someone just to pull me out real quick, I would have attempted snowdrifts all day long. It's just, like I said, the 4th one, I was tired of attempting stuff and digging myself out or winching myself out. It got old. It just got old. But I still had fun. It's a memory, right? It's memories. So it's going to be something that I look back and laugh about when I tried to take the Lexus out into this really crappy 2-foot deep snow, and I got stuck 3 times. At first I'm like, man, I want to get some snow where I can get stuck and I'll film it. Like, okay, 1 time, 2, 3. This isn't fun anymore. I don't get stuck anymore. Because by yourself too. I don't have someone standing over there filming me. I've got to set up the camera and dig myself out. It gets crazy. All right, you guys, I am out of here. I think I'm going to go relax. I got a lot of cleaning to do on the Lexus, but I'm not going to do it today. It's freezing. It's freezing so bad at night that, and it's been pretty moist in the air, that there's ice. Like the doors are frozen shut in the mornings, so I'm not gonna be spraying it off yet. I'll wait a little bit. Maybe it'll rain. I can just drive around in the rain. That's the best way to clean off the underneath. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was actually filmed over 2 days. Yesterday, which was Friday, and today, Saturday, in 2 completely different areas, in 2 completely different vehicles. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you all next weekend.